as a better way than force to spread communism around the world. Dean Rusk signs for the United States. Andrei Gromyko for the Soviet Union. And Alexander Douglas Hume for Great Britain. Red China denounces Moscow's new line and sets out to become the leader of world communism. As generations of leadership change, as years pass, Peking may change its militant position. But today, Communist China seeks to spread its own brand of global revolution. Mao's emissaries are sent into the underdeveloped nations of the world, the so-called rural areas. Red technicians arrive in Havana, seeking a foothold in the Caribbean, a satellite in the Western Hemisphere. Raul Castro, Fidel's younger brother, travels behind the bamboo curtain to be greeted and decorated by Chinese military officials. In Europe, Red China wins a satellite in tiny Albania. And in talks and meetings, the Red leaders preach their gospel of world revolution through people's wars of national liberation. Satellite nations are emphatically reminded of Mao's admonition.
Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun.
In Africa, Ghana and its leader, Kwame Nkrumah, received special... On state visits, the Ghanaian president is greeted by Zhou Enlai as Peking seeks to spread its influence throughout Africa. In Asia, the Chinese Communist regime seeks to become a friend and ally of Pakistan. Zhou Enlai, Peking's apostle of world revolution, as he meets with President Ayub Khan. In alliances and agreements with Indonesia and other nations, Red China adheres to Mao Zedong's creed of conquest.
The Marxist-Leninist principles of revolution hold good universally for China, all the other countries of the world.
Red China's battle plan is spelled out in specific detail in an article written by Lin Biao, Vice Chairman of the Chinese Communist Party and Minister of Defense. Long live the victory of People's War is the title of the article. And its 18,000 words are directed toward the ultimate and absolute defeat of the free world. Victory for communism will come, says Lin Biao, through wars of national liberation. Country by country, continent by continent. Lin Biao's blueprint for world revolution follows Mao Zedong's classic conquest of China, dividing the world as a nation is divided into cities and rural areas. In this Red Chinese battle plan, North America and Western Europe are the cities of the world, and Asia, Africa, Central America, and South America, the rural areas. With revolutions such as the war in Vietnam organized everywhere, there will be, says Lin Biao, a tide of opposition to the free world. And the imperialists, the reactionaries, the Khrushchev revisionists will be swept from the stage of history. The struggle of the Viet Cong adds Lin Biao, is now the focus of the struggle of the people of the world. The communists are waging a guerrilla war patterned after Mao Zedong's War of National Liberation. In Vietnam, as in China 2 decades ago, communists seek to dominate the countryside until the dense thicket of communism surrounds, entangles, and finally chokes the cities. And the Viet Cong fight with guerrilla tactics tested and perfected by Mao Zedong.
Use any technique of terror, subversion, treachery that will harass and cripple the enemy.
And so civilian prisoners are bound and chained and slaughtered by the Viet Cong. Peking is careful to assert that revolutions cannot be important. But, says Lin Biao, that does not exclude support for revolutionary peoples in their struggles. Thus does militant communist China and Mao Zedong see the day when Peking becomes the ideological center of a world enslaved. But in many countries, the Red Chinese battle plan has failed. In Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, good friend and faithful ally of Mao Zedong, is today a fallen idol, a deposed ruler, a man without a country. In Indonesia, anti-communist riots shake the country, and students storm the Red Chinese embassy. Sukarno is no longer the absolute ruler of the island empire. In the Caribbean, communist China suffers still another setback. Fidel Castro turns his back on Peking and sends Red China's technicians home, denouncing all but Castro's own brand of communism. In Asia, nations large and small stand together, strong, alert. Determined to respond to wars of aggression that deny people the chance to decide their own destiny. Striving for peace. Striving for a world in which nations live by law and reason, not by threats and destruction. In a world of so-called cities and rural areas, the emerging nations and industrial countries are today partners in progress, building together for peace. The cities, the fortunate nations of the world, are bringing to the rural areas, the poorer nations, the skills and assistance needed to help them and their people build and create a better life. For this generation and those to come, carrying on a tradition of hope and the dignity of man, a conviction born long ago, far away. When this bell rang out the news that a new nation was born, a new truth proclaimed, that man is born to be and to remain forever free.